So, the Indiana Fever just signed somebody. I'm kind of surprised the Indiana Fever signed somebody, like, today. So they signed someone to a 7-day contract, which means, did they waive somebody? Did the Fever not have to waive somebody to do that? Which means somebody...
The nightmare we all feared and secretly knew was coming has arrived. The Indiana Fever are already preparing for life without Caitlin Clark. And they're not even pretending otherwise. If we're being real, Indiana clearly knows something the rest of us don't.
My brain goes two different ways on this. Either one, the Fever weren't so happy with Odyssey Sims' performance in her first game with the Indiana Fever, and I think a lot of fans were underwhelmed. However, Odyssey Sims had a high bar to clear because Ari McDonald, when she came to the Indiana Fever, she immediately made an impact and played great right away. Odyssey Sims did not have a great game in that last game whatsoever, and so are they signing her to challenge Odyssey Sims and see who plays better, or are they signing her because they know that Caitlin Clark is not going to be returning this season and they're going to need another point guard for this last stretch of games and going into...
In the past week, they've signed 2 point guards. First came Odyssey Sims on a hardship contract. And let's be honest, that's just front office code for, we're in trouble.
The Indiana Fever welcome Kyra Lambert to the team. Another point guard with Sydney out, with Ari out, with Caitlin Clark's return. Who the heck knows at this point? We need some point guards on this team. Odyssey Sims, she played this past Tuesday. Looked like she haven't picked up a basketball in months. Now we go out and get Kyra Lambert.
Days later, they added Kyra Lambert on a 7-day deal. 2 emergency guards in less than a week isn't random. It's a giant red flag. Indiana is bracing for a future without Clark, and they clearly don't expect her back soon.
Never played in the WNBA before, yet the Fever did have room to add another player on a hardship deal. So Lambert, it was announced by the team, has been brought in. This is what the press release itself says, so I'll let them set the context for you. The Indiana Fever have signed guard Kyra Lambert to a 7-day contract the team announced today. The Fever qualified for the roster spot due to the injuries to Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald. Lambert has spent the entirety of her professional career playing in Europe, most recently with Olympiacos, where she won the Greek A1 League. During that season, Lambert averaged 15.4 points per game while shooting 42.1% from beyond.
Now, here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark has already missed 21 games this season. 21. That's not a minor hiccup, that's a career-shaking pattern. Since opening night, it's been one setback after another. First a quad strain, then a left groin injury, and now a right groin injury. She's not a competitor right now, she's a spectator watching her own career stall.
A player from overseas is shocking development. Now, they had no European players on the team, and looked like the Indiana Fever new player did speak to the media earlier today. We got some of that footage. Let's roll
this opportunity that'd be coming for you.
Officially Monday. Yeah, Monday, so it was a pretty quick turnaround.
Take me through the emotions of that day, knowing that this was coming your way and that you'd have a chance to play on a team that might need you to play right away.
Yeah, no, I was super excited. It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had and just, remaining faithful, trusting God and doing the work and just to see it all come back around and have this opportunity.
And the scariest part? Before this season, Clark had never missed a single game, college or pro. She was basketball's Iron Woman. Now she's stacking injuries like trading cards. The official line from Coach Stephanie White? Day to day, no timetable. Translation: they have no idea. She hasn't even returned to practice. Just conditioning like she's rehabbing from major surgery.
Clark fans, this is a nasty position to be in. We're dealing with the Indiana Fever telling us that Caitlin Clark is day to day, and we know the Indiana Fevers, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosskoff, Stephanie White are all liars. We can't believe anything the Indiana Fevers say, and we know that. So we have the Fever saying Caitlin Clark.
If you want to understand how bad this really is, just follow the numbers. Since Clark went down, WNBA viewership has cratered, down 55%. Fever TV ratings? Down 53%. National broadcasts that once drew nearly 2 million viewers now struggle to break 800K. Ticket prices for road games collapsed anywhere from 47% to 71%. That Chicago Sky game that was supposed to be a hot ticket? Seats fell from $86 to $25 overnight. That's not a dip, that's a nosedive off a cliff.
Is tanking WNBA ticket prices. The star Indiana Fever guard suffered a quad injury and is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. This comes on the heels of the WNBA and other teams moving games into larger arenas to accommodate Caitlin's fans. And as sports fans, I think we all know that Caitlin Clark is the most popular women's basketball player. In fact, she might be one of the most popular female athletes in the entire world. Ever since she burst into the national consciousness, women's basketball has experienced a rise in popularity. But is it Caitlin? Or is it women's basketball? Per Front Office Sports, get-in tickets for the Fever's rivalry game against the Chicago Sky on June 7th are down 71% from $86.
Even the WNBA All-Star Game, played in Clark's home market, couldn't escape her absence. Ratings dropped 35%. Sure, 2.1 million tuned in, but that was miles below the 3.4 million when Clark actually played. The league tried to spin it as the second most watched All-Star game ever. But notice, they compared it to 2023, not 2024. Because the truth is too damning. This league lives and dies with one player.
35%. WNBA ratings down. All-Star game 35% than last year. Yet you're telling me that it doesn't have to do with Caitlin. 35%. It really makes it difficult for fans of the WNBA in general and Caitlin Clark, like myself, to have conversations, to join a Discord, just to I don't know, want to just talk up the WNBA in general when you can't even give Caitlin the props.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. The referees and the league's utter failure to protect their biggest star. All season, Clark has been mauled by defenders with little more than a shrug from officials. She's been fouled 46 times, third most in the league. Even worse, 5 of the league's 30 flagrant fouls have been against Clark, 17% of the total, all targeting one player. The Chicago Sky alone are responsible for 80% of them.
Fostered a hostile workplace for Caitlin Clark through excessive fouling, targeting, and hostile comments from other players and owners. These aren't isolated, they're documented, continuing, and ignored by officials. The disparity in treatment invites real scrutiny. Not a single player has been suspended for flagrantly fouling Ms. Clark. Here's where he said a federal investigation should take place. Congress and the admin should demand answers from the W, its leaders, investigate officiating and internal league comms, hold hearings, and insist on real reforms. The Labor Department should review league protocols for workplace safety. If evidence shows discrimination or retaliation, the DOJ's Civil Rights Division must...
This isn't just physical defense. It's been a coordinated campaign to knock her around. Marina Mabry shoves her to the ground after a dead ball. Just a tech. JC Sheldon pokes her in the eye, only a flagrant one. At some point, it stops being basketball and starts looking like targeted assault. Even Candace Parker admitted it. When you're generational, you'll be tested. Sure. But there's testing a star, and then there's endangering one. The WNBA has crossed that line.
People being a little physical with Caitlin at that, her last game. Do you feel like she's being treated unfairly, in her games and stuff like that?
I think it's definitely star players aren't ever treated fairly.
Is that kind of what you went through? Because you're considered a legend. Is that just kind of normal about being the rookie? Is that part of it?
I think everybody has a different path. So I appreciate you, man.
And now, the Fever are scrambling. Losing Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald opened roster spots, and suddenly, boom, 2 point guards appear. Odyssey Sims, a 33-year-old veteran bouncing from team to team, and Kira Lambert on a 7-day. These aren't solutions. They're placeholders. You don't sign Band-Aids if you expect your star back next week. You sign them when you know she's gone for the foreseeable future.
I'm not exactly too sure where Kyra Lambert is, and I know what your reaction is. Kyra Lambert who? Kyra Lambert, minus the 2, divide by 3, add 4. Yeah, I didn't know who Kyra Lambert was either. Kelly, she better be good. Amber, she better be good. That's all I'm going to say. She better come in and be impactful off the jump. That's all I'm going to say. She needs to at least pass the eye test. Okay, maybe she doesn't have a good game, but can she at least pass the eye test so when I watch her, I'm saying to myself, okay, I can see the vision. I can see where we hope that this...
Meanwhile, the league and the Fever keep feeding fans vague, empty updates. Day to day. Working with the medical team. No timeline. Translation, we don't know if she's coming back. And even when she has played this season, Clark hasn't looked like herself, shooting 36.7% overall and a brutal 27.9% from deep. On the road, 2 for 35 from 3. That's not a slump. That's a player whose body is breaking down.
But like, she's a 5'9" point guard who averaged 8 points per game in Greece? How shit must Odyssey Sims be? Nah, man, we're not doing this. Oh, I think we're done. I think we're done. I think we're done, man. I think the season's done. Like, we got the 17th best point guard in EuroLeague.
The problem is bigger than Indiana. The WNBA staked its entire financial future on Clark. The $2.2 billion media rights deal, expansion dreams, salary pushes. It's all built on her being healthy, marketable, and dominant. But what happens when she can't even stay on the floor? We're finding out right now. Her absence has exposed how fragile the league really is.
Caitlin Clark's healing can't come soon enough, and looking at the bright side of things, there is still a month left of the season, and I do think that the Indiana Fever are still in a good position, and they can take this, and they can turn things around. I think that what Stephanie White has done with the team, given all of the adversity that has happened, is pretty incredible. But I don't want to mince words because I don't necessarily see Kyra Lambert as coming in and saving the day for the Indiana Fever. Now, Lambert did win the Greek League Championship and was the Euro Cup Guard of the Year. So there's a...
Indiana's actions tell the real story. Signing multiple guards, reworking rotations, talking about long-term health. That's the kind of language you use when a player's season or career is in jeopardy, not when they're about to return.
Is tanking WNBA ticket prices. The star Indiana Fever guard suffered a quad injury and is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. This comes on the heels of the WNBA and other teams moving games into larger arenas to accommodate Caitlin's fans. And as sports fans, I think we all know that Caitlin Clark is the most popular women's basketball player. In fact, she might be one of the most popular female athletes in the entire world. Ever since she burst into the national consciousness, women's basketball has experienced a rise in popularity. But is it Caitlin? Or is it women's basketball? Per Front Office Sports, get-in tickets for the Fever's rivalry game against the Chicago Sky on June 7th are down 71% from $86 to $20.
And when you see Clark on the sidelines, the reality sets in. She doesn't look like a player eager to jump back in. She looks like someone realizing her body may not withstand the punishment anymore. The targeting, the officiating failures, the non-stop spotlight, it's all caught up. And the Fever's roster moves make perfect sense once you accept the truth. Caitlin Clark isn't coming back, at least not as the player we remember.